Hello, class. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to do a recap of last week's assignments and what we learned last week. Now, you guys are going to utilize what you discussed during discussion and also the worksheet and your exams to tell me what we all learned last week.
We discussed the parts of a vertebra like the foramens, the facets, tubercles, odontoids, and we differentiated between the axis and the atlas.
The nervous system consists of two branches, CNS and PNS, central and peripheral. The CNS is the brain, spinal cord and its coverings. The PNS is cranial, spinal, and ganglia nerves and breaks off into two distinctions, somatic, which is bones, muscle, soft tissue, and skin, and the autonomic, which is the internal glands, organs, blood vessels, and mucous membranes. The autonomic can be broken down yet again into the sympathetic, parasympathetic, and enteric. The sympathetic is our arousal responses, fight or flight, and the parasympathetic is our resting response to the sympathetic.
The enteric nervous system, ENS, is the division of the ENS that is responsible for regulating digestion and the function of the digestive organs. The ENS receives signals from the central nervous system through both the sympathetic and parasympathetic divisions of the autonomic nervous system to help regulate its functions. However, the ENS mostly works independently of the CNS and continues to function without any outside input. For this reason, the ENS is often called the brain of the gut or the body's second brain. The ENS is an immense system. Almost as many neurons exist in the ENS as in the spinal cord. I copied this from the worksheet, but it has some good information. I didn't know about neurons, collaterals, neurolemma, axons, myelinated, unmyelinated, synapses, and a whole lot of other stuff. This week's worksheet has a lot of information.
We talked about the erector spinae group and their attachments, but here are some of the movements that we do which involve the erectors. That is for those of you who do yoga. We went over the erector spinae muscles, the spinalis, longissimus, and the iliocostalis. We went over the muscle actions and attachments. Trail Guides is a good source. Read. I am not sure if we covered how much water is in the brain. I know 78% was not a choice. Did we cover the reticular activating system or the function of tracts, and what myelin sheath is made up of?
There were a few things on your test that I wasn't sure if we covered it thoroughly, like the amount of water in the brain. Now your test says 70 to 85%. So if you got that wrong, I gave it to you. Also, we talked about tracts, but we didn't say what they were, which is a collection of nerve fibers in the brain and spinal cord. And then the reticular activating system, we went over it, but it didn't really say exactly what it did. And what it does is wakes us up in the morning and keeps us awake. Also, myelin sheath is made of Schwann cells. Now, if you got any of those wrong on your test, I gave you credit for it.
We were in a different massage lab, and we got to spend more time working on each other, or it seemed like it anyway.
We did have more time getting more massages, and we were able to switch.
Wow, that is really great. I really need all the massages I can get.